What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Simple Minds as we return to the Real Cacophony album, 1979. Thank you to both Hansel and Phil who've provided the material, as well as to AK and many others who've been commenting on the Simple Minds journey along the way. And the next track is Changeling, which, as someone who studied a bit of folklore history, I can say that I believe a changeling most specifically or narrowly refers to a mystical entity that is secretly exchanged for a human infant. I think more broadly it refers to anything which has been swapped out with the authentic article, and I believe by using the suffix ing, there's a suggestion of it being small or diminutive, and thus, again, relating to a human child being swapped out by some mystical being. I feel like that is both reflective of the size and of the character of the exchange. But yeah, I don't quite know what to make of it, if this is going to be a mystical, supernatural type of narrative, or whether it is a word used to convey a concept that might be rendered in more real-world terms. Of course, it could just be a word and not necessarily indicative of the character of any narrative or scene that is set. I'll try to catch what I can. This is Simple Minds. The track is Changeling, and it's from their 1979 album Real Cacophony. Well, I'm not sure what it's about. I mean, those main lines of the chorus, changeling, changing for you, and then something like we're like coming out for you. I think I heard reference to a boy, but yeah, I didn't catch enough of the lyrics to get a sense of what's really happening here. And even if there is use of the term as it's been mythologically understood, I'm expecting there's some metaphor at play here. Either way, I enjoy the number one mixture of like art rock meets funk rock type of sound. I was even thinking, the last couple times around, I think I've done Simple Minds on the same day I've done Japan. And again, sometimes this happens where I just begin to associate based on like the history of reaction batches, and then from that point on, like doing one reminds me, oh, I should do one from this other band. This song reminded me a bit of the earliest Japan stuff, which has a bit of a like funk rock sound, mixed with a more raw type of sound, which again, compared to later Simple Minds, this is certainly a bit more raw. I will say though, it was almost like, it was a rock type tune, but it had a bit of like a danceable percussive rhythm, even though I think it was like natural drums, not a drum machine. So yeah, it was an interesting one in terms of having some different sonic flavors. There was also an electric, edgy sound to it, and especially there were a couple moments where it went into like a quick instrumental interlude, and in those sections it really had this gritty, edgy, electric type of character, and I particularly enjoyed that. And yeah, that little bass riff, that little pulsing bass riff, which was like, it would do the riff, rest, do the riff. Like, it wasn't like a constant pulsing bass, but I enjoyed that flourishing bass riff, which was like every other in terms of the bars. I also enjoyed the guitar, which again had some edge and some wicked sound to it. Again, Kerr's vocals, I didn't pick up all of the words, but I feel like they fit the raw, edgy type of sound of this one. So yeah, I don't quite know what to make of it, but I did enjoy it, and once again, it is really interesting to hear their sound here in 1979, knowing what they would start to go into within a couple years after this. So yes, I'm enjoying the journey through early Simple Minds. Let me know what you think of this one, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.